Lee, and we are live for the first time with Victory Pioneers. What is Victory Pioneers? It is a health and wellness ministry we're dedicating to help everyone that we can achieve victory over appetite and disease. Again, my name is Timothy Lee, broadcasting live from Oklahoma. And I just want to thank you all for coming out. I want to thank you all for tuning in. And I'm hoping that this is going to be a great blessing to each and every one of you. We're going to talk about natural remedies here. And one of the things that we need to understand in these times is that there is a way that we can take care of ourselves at home. Many of us don't understand these ways. Many of us have seen them, but have never tried them. We have question marks. But my goal is to make sure that it's nice and simple for you throughout this series. We're going to be on for 3 nights, starting tonight with this first presentation. I want to just say thank you again for coming. I want to thank all of those who are out there. We know we're living in some trying and uncertain time with this COVID-19 going on, people getting sick, our loved ones are passing away. And I could not allow myself to sit back and not say anything with the training that I've had, with the experiences that I've had with natural remedies. And I just want to offer some help, offer some education out there that may be a blessing to someone. But for all of our frontline workers, those essential workers out there, all the nurses and the doctors, the CPNs, those assistants in the medical industry. I want to thank everybody that's out there putting in those long hours, putting their lives on the line, working with people, doing what they do best. And also not just them, but even the farmers that keep the food growing, the trucks that keep the food coming, the people at the stores keeping the shelves stocked up that we can still get to these things. I want to thank all those essential workers out there that are doing their best to make this time as comfortable as possible. What I want to do is I want to share something with you. Let's do a little housekeeping. So just to be clear, I want everyone to understand that I am not a doctor. I do not work for the CDC nor the Food and Drug Administration. I don't represent them at all. I am not representing any other organization. I'm simply here speaking on my own behalf. But I do want you to understand this is for educational purposes only. I am free from all responsibilities. If you try something that you learn here, you are on your own conscious of trying those things. So I want to make sure those things are clear. Got to put this stuff up by law. We know that there's unfortunately people who try to prey on people, trying to do the best they can by offering this types of help. But I just want to make those things clear to you. So the obvious question is, then why should you give me your attention? You just said you're not a doctor. You just said you're not representing one of the experts out there. Why should I give up any more time to listen to you? Well, let me give you a little bit of my background. I've been trained in natural remedies. I actually went to school for this, studied it, went to the books, and I learned these things. While I was there at that school, not only did I read books, but I took that book reading and theory and put it into practice. I worked in a lifestyle center there. I started off at the store where we sold lots of natural products. I got to learn what types of products people love, what type of products have good reputation, different things about foods. And from the store, then I moved on to the farm. I actually learned how to plant different foods, grow different foods. That was a wonderful experience. After that, I moved into the kitchen, where I was one of the people who helped prepare food for people who would come to the lifestyle center, and they were people who were willing to try an all-natural approach to getting healthy. And so I knew whenever we had different patients that came in, what they were dealing with based upon what I was scheduled to feed them for that time that they were there. I know, okay, this is a cancer patient because they need to eat these things and not eat these things. I know, okay, this is a diabetes patient because they need to eat these things and not eat these things. So I learned those things while I was at school getting trained. And after school, since then, I've had 11 years experience conducting seminars. This is my first live seminar, but I've been all throughout the nation, person to person, doing groups, small groups for different organizations, doing these seminars on natural remedies. And I've seen lots of testimonies and great results by God's awesome grace from people just trying an all natural approach. Lastly, right now we're in a time, even with this coronavirus, that doctors don't have an answer. There's no vaccine yet. And the problem is, if someone is feeling sick or someone actually is sick with this virus, the word is to go home and to quarantine. There's nothing else they really can do for them. And so I want us to have some idea of something we can do for ourselves while we're at home with our loved ones in this quarantine. So, what do we know about COVID 19? Well, we know that it's highly contagious. There are two major ways that it's contracted. First is someone may sneeze or cough in the vicinity of another person, and they will pick up those germs from that sneezing or that coughing by being too much in close proximity with them. The other way is that if someone touches that virus and then goes home or touch their eye or their nose or they eat some food and they put their fingers in their mouth, they may contract it that way also. We know that COVID 19 is trying to attack the lungs and the system. And once it gets there, it seems to be a big fight for people to recover from that stage. We know people have suffered from lack of appetite, they have lack of energy. Some of them are just kind of laying around and can't do much. And so these are some of the things that we know so far about COVID 19. So, what my aim is to do, I have three aims. The first one is I want to present practical and understandable information. I'm going to do my best not to talk over your head with a bunch of doctor or professional language. And if there's anything that I may feel needs to be broken down, I'm going to do my best to break it down and make it easy for you to understand. The second thing that I want to do for you is I want to teach using common things. So I'm not going to present anything so exotic that you have to travel to the ends of the world to go get it, or something that's so expensive that even if you could get to it, you can't afford to get it. I want to show you common things that you probably already have in your home and didn't know that these things had such medicinal power to them. The other thing that I want to show you is I want you to leave every presentation knowing and feeling that the information you got was useful, right? Every night, I want you to say, wow, that was so simple. I think I can actually do that. That was very practical. That was very broken down in layman's terms that I believe that I can actually try some of these things. So tonight on our first presentation, we're going to talk about hydrotherapy. Hydrotherapy was one of my favorite classes when I was at school. One of the things that I learned about hydrotherapy, one of the things that I was so amazed about hydrotherapy is the power that is in water, hot and cold water. I did not know that something so simple as water carried so many health benefits to it, not just from drinking it, but actually administering water techniques to the body. Most of us are familiar with hydrotherapy, but maybe you never considered it as hydrotherapy. If you've gone to a sauna, that's a form of hydrotherapy. If you've ever put your foot in a massage contraption that has water in it, that's a hydrotherapy. If you've ever been in a tub that has jets and a whirlpool, that's a form of hydrotherapy. So many of us have even done these things, but you didn't know that, oh, that would be considered hydrotherapy. So let's talk about what is hydrotherapy. I have a definition that I've written here. I hope that it's pretty simple. But hydrotherapy is simply this. It's the use of water in any of its forms. So that's water, ice, and steam. The use of water in any of its form for medicinal purposes. Plain and simple. That's hydrotherapy. Next, I'm going to show you a technique that I believe is going to be powerful. Now, what I've done is I've already pre-recorded these videos so that you can see how these techniques work. The first technique is a hot and cold shower. Very, very easy. And this technique is for the person who still has the strength to do this technique. Maybe they feel something coming on, a cold or flu or something like that, and they want to be able to clear up their chest and get that congestion out of the chest. So we're going to watch a video on a very simple technique on how to do that. Check this out. The best treatment you can do for your chest area on your own. Now, many people during this COVID-19, if they're suffering from it, they're a little weak and they're not able to stand in the shower and do this treatment on their own. And so they're going to need someone to administer a treatment like this in a different way. But if you have the strength to stand in the shower What you're going to do, this is called an alternating hot and cold shower. Hot and cold shower, or it's also called. All right. I did not press share audio, so I'm going to get that fixed and we'll pull it right back up as soon as I get that done. But this technique is very, very easy for us to do for the hot and cold shower. Hang with me one moment. I'm going to get this thing fixed so that we can get it going. All right, well, you caught me in the shower. Now, this is a very powerful treatment if you feel any congestion in your chest or you simply want to bolster up your immune system. This is the best treatment you can do for your chest area on your own. Now, many people during this COVID-19, if they're suffering from it, they're a little weak and they're not able to stand in the shower and do this treatment on their own. And so they're going to need someone to administer a treatment like this in a different way. But if you have the strength to stand in the shower, what you're going to do, this is called an alternating hot and cold shower. Hot and cold shower, or it's also called a revulsive shower. So what you do is, of course, you get undressed, you get into the shower, you're going to have your water on, and you're going to turn that water on as hot as you can take it. Again, I'll say as hot as you can take it. And you're going to let that hot water fall on your chest for about 1 to 3 minutes. And after that 1 to 3 minutes, you're then going to turn it to cold water, all the way cold, cold, cold. And you're going to let that water fall on your chest for 30 seconds. And you're going to alternate that 3 times, ending on cold. So that's 1 minute hot, 30 seconds cold. 1 minute hot, 30 seconds cold. 1 minute hot, 30 seconds cold. And what you don't want to do, you don't want to cheat and start counting as soon as you turn the water to hot or turn the water to cold. You want to make sure that the water actually gets hot or gets cold, and then you start doing your counting. Also, what you don't want to do is you don't want to have that water just falling on your head. You don't want it rolling down your back. You don't want to stand here and just take a shower in it. You want that water concentrated on your chest. What you also want to do is make sure that you are covering up your private area so that that hot water does not burn you in your sensitive areas on the body. But again, this is a very powerful, powerful hydrotherapy treatment that can help get rid of congestion in the chest and in the lung, help get rid of that pressure that you may be feeling. Or if you want to make sure that your immune system is on guard, you have to go out and pick up some of the essential things that you may need. You want to make sure that while you're out there, your immune system is on guard. It's a powerful way to ignite those white blood cells that they're ready to do their duty. So this is called the alternating hot and cold shower, or just hot and cold shower. Another name for it is called revulsive shower. Very, very powerful treatment for removing that congestion that a person may be feeling in their chest during this COVID-19 pandemic that we're in. All right, so that's the hot and cold shower. Now, again, this is for those who have the strength to actually stand in the shower and do that technique. But it's a powerful technique, very simple. Even if you don't want to go through all the changes of hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, maybe you're not feeling sick at all, but you just want to make sure that your immune system is strong. So what I would recommend is that at the end of every shower, just do it once. Before you get out the shower, turn that water on as hot as you can for a minute, and then turn that water on as cold as possible, cold, 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 for 30 seconds just before you get out of the shower. Just do that every day as a preventative way to allow yourself to get that body nice and strong, your immune system nice and strong as you go out through the day. Now, I have a second technique for you. This technique, as you heard in the first video, I talked about there's another way to do that technique, the hot and cold, but only if you're administering it to another person. Because sometimes you have someone in the home, we're quarantined with our family, they are sick. There are a lot of people still right now today who have the COVID-19, they are sick, they're quarantined with their families, and their family does not know what to do. And so this is a technique that you can use so that you will be equipped to know what to do for that family member. Let's watch this video as it shows up. Implementation to the chest. This is a powerful hydrotherapy treatment for revitalizing the lungs, for clearing out any viruses or bacteria that is causing us any pain or suffering. So these are the things that you're going to need in order to do this treatment. You're going to need 1 hand towel or washcloth. You're also going to need 5 drying towels. You need towels big enough that will fit across the person's chest. You're also going to need aluminum foil. You're going to need one bucket big enough to hold one of these towels full of ice water, Lastly, you're going to need a roaster oven. And in this roaster oven, I have my grill, and it's being held up by a couple of bricks that I've wrapped up in aluminum foil because I'm not going to want to put these towels right on the floor of the roaster oven. Also, you're going to need something to grab these towels because they're going to be hot, because it's called a hot and cold fermentation. They're going to be hot when you pick them up. So this is how you prepare the hot fermentation. You're going to take your drying towel and you're going to fold it up into threes. You lie it flat. You have one fold, two folds. Then thirdly, you'll fold it in half. You're going to wet this towel, thoroughly wet it. Doesn't matter if it's hot or cold water because, again, you're going to get it hot in the roaster oven. Don't wring it out. Just slightly wring it out, but you want it thoroughly wet. After you folded up your towel, you're going to come and get your aluminum foil, and you want to tear off enough to put your towel in. You want to lay your towel in the middle of the foil. And then you're going to begin wrapping it up nice and tight. Try your best not to tear the foil. But also make sure everything stays in the center. So that you can close it up on the end. There you go. You close that up there. Close it up there. Don't worry if it's not perfect. Then you're going to do this 3 times with 3 drying towels. And you're going to place them into the roaster oven. Now your roaster oven, you're going to put 2 inches of water in this roaster oven. And then you're going to have 3 towels rolled up in aluminum foil in the roaster oven. And what you're going to do after that is once you've got your 3 towels rolled up, you've got your water in there, you're going to put your top on, and you're going to set it to about 300 degrees. Or if you have a low, medium, high, you want to put it on medium. And you're going to let this thing cook for about a minimum of 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours max. You want to get this nice and hot. So once again, you're going to put in 2 inches of water. You're going to have 3 towels in here rolled up in aluminum foil, and you're going to set it to 300 degrees or medium. Let it cook for 2 to 3 hours. So the next thing you're going to need, once you have your fermentation nice and hot, they've been in the roaster oven for 2 hours, maximum 3 hours. Also, what you're going to need to prepare is you're going to need a bucket for hot water. And what you're going to do is you're going to put that person's feet in this bucket of hot water. And then you're going to need your bucket of ice cold water or ice water. And in that, you're going to take your hand cloth or your washcloth. You're going to put that in the ice cold water. And you're going to take one of your drying towels. You're going to put that in the ice cold water. Also, you're going to need a cover large enough to cover up the area of the person that you're going to be working with. And you're going to use that 5th drying towel to lay across their chest as extra added protection from the hot fermentation. Okay, so once you have everything prepared, your fermentations are nice and hot, you're going to have that person that you're caring for, they're going to lay down on something. It doesn't have to be a massage table, it can be a bed or a strong enough table that you may have in the house. My wife is assisting me, once again, very glad for that. I know some of you are already thinking, I have a loved one, a relative who is suffering from this COVID thing. They're at home in quarantine. They don't know what to do. This is something that you can do at home for that person that you care for. Many people are quarantined with their family, and that person in their house is suffering with this sickness, and we don't know what to do. Now you do. You can do this hot and cold fermentation and it will work wonders. So once they're laid out, everything is nice and hot, you're going to take this bucket of hot water and you're going to place their feet into this bucket. Now you want to make sure it's hot, but not too hot where it will burn them. Many people may have diabetes, or they may have some type of neuropathy, and they're not able to tell how hot something is. So they're going to be depending on you to make sure that it's not scalding hot. And once their feet are in the bucket of hot water, you're going to place a dry towel on their chest. This dry towel is going to help prevent from laying that hot towel right on their skin. They're going to be fully unclothed in this actual treatment. Now, of course, this is a dry demonstration, but they're going to be fully unclothed in this treatment during this time. And you're also going to take your hand towel that was in the ice cold water. You're going to put that on their forehead. You want to keep their head nice and cold. You don't want them to catch a fever or pass out, but you want them to get nice and warm. Once you have them ready to go, you're going to take a cover and you're going to cover them up. Like so. You want to make sure that the bucket is covered up, that the steam and everything and the heat will stay there. You want to keep them nice and covered. Once they're covered and comfortable, you're now going to come to your hot fermentation. Remember, they're very hot. And you're going to take your mittens and uncover this. And be careful getting these out. They're very hot. And you're going to want to roll this towel out of here. Now, what I like to do is kind of just squish it up, kind of break up the aluminum foil, raise it up. Sometimes it can be a little stubborn. Once you have it open, you roll it out. It's going to be steaming hot. It's going to be steaming hot. You're going to pick it up with your mittens on. So you'll uncover them. Remember, you have this warm, dry towel on their chest. You're going to take this hot towel, lay it on the dry towel right on their chest, and then you're going to cover them up. And you're going to leave them like this for 1 to 3 minutes and allow that heat to begin warming up the chest. While that's going on, for that 1 to 3 minutes, you can begin preparing the next fermentation. After the 1 to 3 minutes is up, you'll uncover them, take off the hot towel. Maybe you'll have another bucket or something to put that in. And you're going to take the ice cold towel that's also a drying towel. And you're going to take this ice cold towel and remove the dry towel. Take the ice cold towel and put it right against the chest, right against the skin. And that will begin to awaken those white blood cells. You're going to leave that on them for 30 seconds. 1 minute, 30 seconds to 1 minute. You're going to leave that on them for 30 seconds to 1 minute. While that's going, again, you'll come, you grab the next fermentation and begin to get that ready. Roll that out, ready to go. After your 30 seconds is up, you're going to take this off, put it back in the ice cold water. You're going to cover them back up with the dry towel. Then you're going to take this hot towel and you're going to place it right back on the chest, but on top of the dry towel, because you don't want that hot towel to burn their skin. And you're going to cover them up. And again, they're going to be there for 1 to 3 minutes under the heat of that hot towel. You can check on the cold towel on their forehead to make sure it's still cold. If not, you can dip that in the ice cold water and put it back on their forehead to make sure that their forehead stays cold. Also, you can check the hot water, make sure it's still hot. If it begins to cool down too much, you can grab a pot or a pitcher of hot water, kind of pour that in there very slowly and avoid pouring it right onto their skin. But you just want to heat up that hot water, keep it hot, and keep this ice cold. So once the 1 to 3 minutes are up, You're going to do it one more time. You're going to take that hot towel off, get rid of it. You're going to pull back the dry towel, and you're going to take the ice cold towel. You don't need mittens on for an ice cold towel. And you're going to put that right against the skin. 30 seconds to 1 minute. While that 30 seconds is going, you're going to prepare the last fomentation. Get that all rolled out, ready to go. When that's over, you take off this cold towel, put it back in the ice cold water, put on the dry towel, and then you're going to administer the hot towel once again. Cover her up 1 minute to 3 minutes time. When this is over, you always want to end, when you're doing an alternating hydrotherapy treatment between hot and cold, you always want to end on cold. Remember that. Always end on cold. So once the 1 to 3 minutes have passed, you uncover her, take off the hot towel, pull back the dry towel. It gets a little damp because it has the hot towels on it. And you're going to take that cold towel, you're going to end on cold, and place it on their chest for 30 seconds. While that is on their chest for 30 seconds, you'll begin to prepare getting them out of this treatment down here. So you will uncover them, take the cold towel off, take the hand towel off, and you will assist them in sitting up. Then you're going to take this cold towel, remember they don't have any clothes on, and just kind of pat them down, make sure they're okay, and you'll assist getting their feet out of this hot bucket. And you can continue with the cold towel just to kind of neutralize all that heat that was on their feet. When this treatment is done with, I wrap them up. Of course, they will go get dressed, sit down and relax for about a half an hour and let all of that wonderful heat and all of that wonderful cold do its work. All right. I hope that you enjoyed that. Now, if you have any questions, you can go ahead, put a comment there, put your questions. We're going to have a moment when this is over soon, and I'm going to go and check out some of your questions, do my best to answer those questions to see what you guys have going on there. The other thing that we want to talk about here is, now that was the second technique, right? So the second technique, it tells us that this is for being able to administer this on to someone else. Someone in your home is sick and you want to know what to do to be able to help that person out. And really, that's really how simple it is. And it's powerful, right? Just using hot and cold water, using some towel. Now, I'm going to give you something that you could do. Let's say you don't have a roaster oven. Let's say your hot water is out. You cannot turn on hot water at all. And you don't know how you're going to be able to do that shower treatment, right? So what you could do is you can, if you have any towels at home, you can just simply take the towel. Now, do not wrap them in foil. Just wet them. Put one towel in the microwave. Turn it on for about 3 minutes on high, and let that wet towel cook in the microwave. And you can use that way to get the towels hot. But again, do not put foil on them and stick them in the microwave. Do not do that. Just wet them. Put them in the microwave wet, and put it on for about 3 to 4 minutes, depending on your microwave and how high it actually goes. Now, doing it that way, those towels will be hot for a while. They won't be as hot for 3 minutes long, but you may be able to keep that on your loved one, on your friend, for at least a minute. It should be hot enough to administer that treatment. If you can't, if your hot water is out, if you don't have a roaster, but you do have a microwave. That's another simple way to administer that treatment there. Okay. Also, what we're going to do is we're going to keep moving on to the next one. I want you to understand that this is a 3-part series. This has been part 1. I want to thank you all for tuning in thus far. And if you're still out there, let me see some likes and some hearts. Just give a brother some support, a couple comments or something. This is our first time going live. We're going to keep doing more and more of these things, keep putting out good, all natural information out there that you can use right there in your home. DIY natural remedy. Do it yourself, right? Tomorrow night, we are going to be talking about herbs, right? So it was a struggle for me to figure out which one was I going to present first, because both of these have some very, very powerful techniques to them. Just like hydrotherapy is very powerful, yet very simple, using herbs as medicine can be very powerful and very simple too. And we're going to talk about an herb that kills viruses, right? Now, this is what you got to understand. This is not, and I am not in any way trying to make someone who has suffered from COVID-19 feel that it was nothing. But this herb has killed stronger viruses than COVID-19. And we're going to talk about that. You can get it. It is not something you got to travel to the end of the earth to get. And we're going to talk about how to make your own cough syrup, and how this cough syrup with this one simple ingredient can actually rival some of the stuff that you buy over the counter at the store. And we're going to talk about how we can get a hold of those things. And it's going to be an amazing time talking about herbs and how those herbs can kill viruses. So we're going to take a few moments. If you've got any questions, I'm going to look here and look at the questions, at the comments. You can go ahead and put those questions in. Any questions pertaining to what you've seen tonight, we're going to put that up. Let me see what I got here. Miss Kelly says, so the towels and the roaster are wet, correct? So you're squeezing the water out once the towels are removed from the roaster. Yes, they are wet. No, you do not squeeze them out. You can very gently, but I wouldn't even recommend it. Get those things soaked and wrap them up and put them in that way. But you don't have to worry about wringing them out and wringing them dry. You want that water in it, because that water is what's going to make the towel hot without actually, burning up the towel from all of that heat that's going on in the roaster oven. So that's a very good question. Also, the person that's on that treatment does not necessarily have to be totally undressed. When you do that treatment, you can have them undressed just from the top up. That's where the treatment is mostly taking place. And if you can roll their pants leg up and you can get their feet into that water, you can do it that way also. Okay. What else we got here? Carol says, when you do the hot and cold shower, are you fully dressed? No, this is when you actually get in the shower. You have no clothes on. But number one, I was not going to get naked on Facebook. My wife would not have that. Number two, Facebook ain't having that. So I had to do the demonstration dress just to show people you need to get in the shower. This is not something you want to do from the tub, or something you want to do from the faucet. You want to be able to get into the shower, let that water fall on your chest while you're in the shower, just like you get in the shower every day. You want to make sure you are fully unclothed. Any other comments or questions out there? Let me check here. Yes, that's funny. All right, all right. Looks like it must have been. I got one more. How often do you suggest administering this treatment? For the fomentations, I would give it. Now, of course, you have to watch the person depending on how bad the chest is congested. I would do it for about 3 days. Some people, they may not have much congestion, and you'll be able to tell soon after the treatment is done and they've laid down, they feel better and they're breathing better. But normally, if it is someone sick, they have a cold, they got the flu, I would do it every day that they tell you, yeah, my chest is congested. Then I would go ahead and do that treatment. But remember, it's only water, so it's not going to do any harm to them. So every day that you talk to them and they don't feel well, they have congestion in their chest, you can do this treatment. Anyone else? All right. Looks like we've got the questions all answered. I want to thank you all so much for bringing in your questions. I hope that everything was nice and simple and easy for you. One thing that I'd like you to do is I want you to, if you feel comfortable, you can email me if you have any concern, personal health concerns, something you don't want to talk about online or live or anything like that. You can email me at Victory Pioneers and we'll talk about maybe setting up a one-on-one health consultation or something to that effect. But I want to make sure that all of you out there, please, if you haven't yet, like our page, Victory Pioneers on Facebook, go to YouTube, subscribe, click the bell notification. We're going to be putting out more and more information on the regular. Now, this series is a 3-part series. Just want to remind you of that. Tonight was just night 1. We covered hydrotherapy. And I didn't want to be long, didn't want to talk for a whole hour. I know it's a Thursday night and you probably got shows and things you want to watch. So I want to thank you again for giving me your time and your attention. And we're going to sign off here soon. I'll see you tomorrow night. We're going to talk about that herb that kills viruses. You don't want to miss it. Share this rebroadcast. Once this is over, share it with your friends. Share the YouTube link with your friends so that they don't miss the information. They can join in with us tomorrow night. Once again, it's a Timothy Lee with Victory Pioneers. We want you to live life victoriously. You have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. God bless.